Hey there, welcome to this little tour of my little recording studio. Not that much to see. Just a little candid thing, little look at my setup I got going here. Let me just get in position. So, let's see. So right here you can see I got a little bit of recording going on there. This is actually funny enough. I'm working on redoing some work that I'd already done in the past. That happens to me a lot, actually. Guys, I have a tendency to make poor decisions. So, isn't that great? But I got a nice 4K, 120 or maybe 144 hertz refresh rate on that thing. It's pretty nice. And I picked it up. Honestly, I picked it up mostly for my Switch 2, because I had access to all the flashy new things with my Nintendo games, which you all know I love. So I went ahead and ordered this, and yeah, it's been neat. Not much to see there. Over off to the side, you can see I got my computer set up, and it's all plugged in on the sides there with a hard drive for storage somewhere down there. I can't really see what I'm doing. Oh, it's this way. There we go. Yeah, there's a hard drive over there. I do have the Switch set up just for kicks. Yeah. So computer's all set up. That's where all the magic happens, so to speak. Combined with that little guy, that behind Luigi, is my capture card. Also nothing fancy. It's actually one of the older versions of that capture card. Could I have a newer one? I do not have the means to hook it up yet. Working on it. And then there's the rest of the mess. Yeah, microphone setup. There's a little. There is a camera there, but I don't use that camera that often. And the rest. For the record, though, that is 13 game systems that I actually managed to get all hooked up with a whole bunch of switchers. Even an old AV switcher, which I hope you can see on the screen because I can't tell now. Yeah. So that's it. It's a mess. It's a mess. I'm a mess. Now you've seen my mess. So let's move on to another mess, shall we? Let's get to the review. Hey there, welcome to another Backlogged game review. If you're still here, thank you. I realized that opening was a little bit of a cringy thing, but I just kind of let whatever's in my head come out. That's the idea I had because of the review for today. Also, just a little note, I am working toward making this hopefully a full-time job, actually, because my mom, if you haven't heard, I talk about this all the time, but if you haven't heard, my mom does have Alzheimer's, and if I can get this going, then hopefully I can spend more time at home to help take care of her and things around the house. I'm not asking for donations or anything of the sort. Any support that you can give is appreciated. Just stick around for the episode. Hopefully you like what you see. Just thanks for being here, honestly. I really appreciate it. Alright, it's time for me to start reviewing yet another dumb category of games on this channel. So look, I just need to jump around a little bit because as much as I love Zelda games, and I really, really do, I need to figure out some way to talk about Zelda games beyond just repeating I love Zelda. about 20 times every episode, so I need to take a little break every now and then. Also, this is a show about working through my tremendous backlog of games and looking for new experiences that I haven't yet had, and seeing if it was even worth the trouble in the first place. Well, this game and this particular category or series is all about that. This is the start of my reviews covering every game that got announced during that very first Nintendo Switch 2 presentation. And what other way could I start than by talking about maybe the most controversial game announced, as it kind of embodies the concern that many fans have had concerning some greedy practices that have been rearing their ugly head coming from Nintendo lately. So, the question for this particular game is, if you did happen to drop all of that money for your Nintendo Switch 2 console in the first place, should you then also spend $10 on a tech demo kind of game? Let's just see what's going on with Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Look, if I'm gonna buy and keep my Wii U all the way through its lifespan, I don't need much convincing by Nintendo to tell them to shut up and take my money. Yes, I'm a Nintendo fan, and if you're expecting me to address the recent greedy practices, I'm just not gonna do it. The whole gaming industry is greedy, so if you expected Nintendo to be different, well, they are, but they're no more greedy than insert your least favorite AAA publisher here. There are dozens and dozens of videos out there discussing the problem with Nintendo's prices recently, and you can form your own opinion. If you don't want to shell out, that's your business. But I, and many other Nintendo fans, just want to play Nintendo's games, and there's nowhere else we can do that, legally of course. So, as I move into talking about this game specifically, I'm assuming you have bought a Switch 2 by now, and you're wondering if you should buy this $10 tech demo game. I call it a tech demo game because this is the one meant to demonstrate the capabilities of the unique hardware they incorporated into this system. The most popular of these tech demo games by about a million miles is Wii Sports. Wii Sports boiled down the entire approach of the Wii's development perfectly. A game and system that anyone can play, whether you know what a video game is or not. Just grab the remote, choose your activity, and swing away to mimic your favorite sports activities. Even the Wii U had a pretty good tech demo game in Nintendo Land, an amusement park of Nintendo-themed minigames that did all kinds of crazy things with the new gamepad controller. What's cool about these tech demo games now is that, thanks to Wii Sports, they can be just plain fun to play, even as their main purpose is showing off the system they play on. If you're not on Nintendo Switch 2 yet, maybe you played Astro's Playroom on PS5? If not, that's a free PS Plus game. What are you doing not playing that? Astrobot is just as good, maybe better than some Nintendo games. Get on that. Whew, getting really distracted here, but that's the gist of Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. It's the game to show off what this shiny new machine can do. There's not really a story to speak of here, but the game is presented very much like a virtual convention space or a museum, which is a cute way to do it. Step right up as your tour guide takes you through the wonders of the Nintendo Switch 2! That's basically the vibe, and I actually like this approach to making a tech demo game. So let's get this tour started and see what's in store for us. Here's the thing. I've been to a virtual conference before, into being a bit of a stretch. If that's what this game actually was, like a virtual tour, I would say it's the coolest conference I've ever attended. The whole thing has you climbing on, around, and inside a virtual recreation of the entire Nintendo Switch 2 system. Yes, the entire thing. I imagine there may be the odd trade secret left out, but it seems like every possible component has been accounted for here. This even extends to a variety of accessories like the Switch 2 camera, wheel, Pro controller, and the wrist strap. Yay! But it's not as if you just go on the tour, this is a game, right? So how do you play? Well, there are a few different activities. For one, there's a stamp rally where you look for hidden stamps next to every one of the system's components. This combined with the various trivia boards really goes a long way to show just how thoroughly each part of the system was designed. Not that I think this is unique to Nintendo or anything, but it is personally fascinating to me to learn how certain parts of the system work and why it's built the way it is. Just as one example, did you know the Switch 2 has 3 antennas built inside of it to ensure a strong connection regardless of where it comes from? Crazy, right? Okay, so this is the main part that I'm like grateful it's here. I found it completely fascinating as someone who is genuinely curious about how technology functions, but has very little knowledge about it. But I can't help but think that only completionists like me, who just can't ignore all the stamps and check marks, would run right past all these for the other two more interactive experiences. What are those? Well, the first is a set of tech demos. Yep, just tech demos. Again, these are fascinating to someone like me, and a few are genuinely surprising, like the fact that the new Rumble tech can rumble so lightly and precisely that it becomes a speaker. No, really, the Rumble not only shakes the controller like usual, it's also a speaker. Plus, apparently every pixel from the entire length of Super Mario Bros. Level 1-1 fits within a single 4K resolution frame. Pretty cool, but I still imagine many players of this game would try one or two of these, then run past the rest. Which leaves the minigames. Yes, these are legitimate minigames, and several are legitimately challenging. These not only show off the system's capabilities, but they do that tech demo game thing of being a fun new way to play. Well, somewhat. Nothing lasts more than a minute or so, and aside from gathering those medals for my completionists, there's not much else to see here. A lot of these are mouse-based games, since that's the big new innovation in control with the Switch 2, the mouse controls, and they wanted to give us some practice. Appreciated for me with all the precision of a T-ball batter when trying to use a mouse, but there's also a couple nifty touch control and motion-based games. Yet my favorite is the Switch 2 Pro Controller's button combo game, where you have to press and hold a variety of buttons across the controller, also serving as a tutorial for those new GL and GR buttons, which are built-in back buttons like those DualShock add-on things. You use them to remap a couple other buttons however you want to for increased efficiency and dexterity. There's also a thoroughly embarrassing camera-based game that forces you to make funny faces, which I only bring up here to add the footage in the video and give you something to make fun of me for years to come, I'm sure. I'm just full of great ideas in this video. First, I show off my lack of organization in my room, and then I confess my willingness to feed gaming publishers' greed, provide future blackmailers with material. I think I can move on to my final thoughts now. So, in general, I can easily say I've played worse games than Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. It's not even close. Alan Wonderworld. Sonic 06. Huh. But as this is a tech demo game from the company known for the best tech demo games, this game is cute and even kind of fun for a couple hours. I was fascinated by the tech breakdown information, but that could have been done on Nintendo's YouTube channel, or even their new info app, Nintendo Today. Yes, I have that, and check it every day. Leave me alone. That's how I found out the Zelda movie is real. I did forget there are also lost items strewn throughout the game that you can return to the lost and found for more completion fodder and not really anything else. Honestly, between my joy of learning and hunger for completion, I do actually kind of like this game, but considering what Nintendo did with every other console's tech demo game, this one is just fine. Or rather, it would be fine if, here you go Nintendo naysayers, if the game was free. It's not free. This game has to be purchased from the Nintendo eShop for $10, and because of that, I guarantee it sold very poorly. I haven't looked at numbers or anything, but there's just not anything here that most people, besides me, would pay for. It's disappointing because it could have been a fun way to introduce the system and briefly distract kids and new players from what everybody was playing first, Mario Kart World. If it was free, the work they put in to introduce all the fancy pants stuff they crammed into this thing would be way more appreciated and maybe even enjoyed a bit. But now, everybody, including myself, has to look at it and ask, is this really worth $10? Well, I've put off answering that for a shockingly long time in this video already, so before I close this out, my answer? is no. If I have to pay for it, glad it's not more than 10 bucks, but I shouldn't have to pay for it. And I hate saying that because I hate bandwagoning, though my reasons are my own here. Just don't like that I agree with the majority opinion. Very disappointing. There you have it. You can mark this as my first negative Nintendo opinion because even though I am a fan, I don't want to come across as a shill or ignorant of many very real issues with some of Nintendo's decision making. I'm not blind, I know the Nintendo Switch 2 is expensive, whether or not the price is actually fair, and right now there are only a few reasons for the average gamer to pick one up in the first place, like Mario Kart World and, But more to the point, in the case of Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, I actually really enjoyed learning more about how this system actually works, and even how game systems in general work. But a cute tech demo game that only offers a few hours of fun really doesn't need to cost $10. Even $5 would be more fair, but Wii Sports came free with the Wii, and was so much fun that even now, people constantly buy a Wii to play Wii Sports. And the systems only come used now, as well as the games, which means they're not free. But people buy it anyway because it was so much fun. Seriously, when I was selling games as my job, I sold lots of copies of Wii Sports for like 20 bucks. And it was free! Of course, Nintendo didn't actually see any of that money, but surely positive feedback and some rollover sales on less good sequels was worth it? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that's why this game isn't free. At any rate, I can't truthfully suggest that if you already spent money on a Switch 2, that you should go out and spend $10 on this kind of fun game that doesn't actually offer much of anything, unless you need to practice mouse controls, which I do. But if you already did pick up this game for yourself and it's in your backlog, go ahead and finish it. It's cute and it's fun, even though it lasts a pitifully short amount of time. I hope you can tell through this video, but I really don't like being negative about video games, even if they are bad or cost too much or whatever. But I want to be authentic about my opinions about the games I cover here. The next one will be more positive, I promise, if you're just as tired of the toxicity as I am, so make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you know when it's up. I'm circling through a few categories of games in my backlog, so I believe Spider-Man 2 will be next, which has me very excited. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, and these games are great. Plus, I haven't finished it yet, so surprises are in store, and that's rare for me. I am excited, and I'm excited to see you there. Happy gaming!